interesting game. We both have one of our 2 or 3 most overrated teams in Missouri going to Bryant-Denny Stadium to face the Alabama Crimson Tide. Missouri's getting 13.5 points, even though they have a better record than Alabama. That may tell you something. And the over-under here is 55. Let's talk about Missouri. They are 54th in points per game. They are 64th in yards per play. They are 54th in yards per rush. They are 83rd in yards per pass, and then their sack percentage is 7.17%, which is 84th. Now let's talk about the defense. 18.2 points per game, which is 12th in the country. I honestly thought that would be higher. I think they're a little bit fraudulent there because of the schedule. It's been pretty easy other than the one real game they've had where they got absolutely destroyed by Texas A&M. Yards per play is 5.1 allowed, which is 46th. 3.8 yards per rush, which is 38th. 7.3 yards per pass, which is 73rd, and 8.13% sack percentage. That is 22nd in the country. Now let's go over to Alabama. 38.1 points per game, 14th in the country. 6.5 yards per play, 17th in the country. 4.6 yards per rush, 52nd in the country. Yards per pass is 9.5, which is 7th. QB sack percentage is 7.25%, which is 87th in the country. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, 21.3 points per game allowed. That is 34th in the country. Yards per play, 4.6 allowed, 17th in the country. Yards per rush is 32nd in the country. Yards per pass is 23rd in the country. Sack percentage is 6.67%, which is 52nd in the country. Tyler, I will let you go first here.
Yeah, and with Alabama, I've been wrong on the spread 5 straight times. So I don't know about this Alabama team. The fans are worrying me here, and they've already thrown in the towel and they've given up. Now, with the whole Malachi Moore situation, that also leads me to push towards Missouri. But at the same time, I watched Missouri just get absolutely destroyed. Now, to be fair, I think they caught Texas A&M at the pivotal worst time to play Texas A&M. But at the same But you can't lose that game if you want to make it to the playoffs by 30-something points. And really, that game was never close. They had never had a shot at winning. I don't really know, to be honest with you. This is tough. If Alabama plays like Alabama should be playing, they're a top 5 team, but they haven't been. They should have lost South Carolina, coming off of a loss, to Vandy a week before South Carolina. Then they lose to Tennessee in a game they were better than Tennessee. So I'm gonna go Missouri to cover. There's something about Drinkwitz here. Knows that this is his biggest game. Knows that if his team wants to make it to the playoffs, they at least have to compete because of their schedule, because of how it's laid out. These next few weeks for Missouri should win. I mean, they should finish 10-2. Okay, I mean, it's plain and simple for that. So they're going to have to at least compete here. I think Missouri will cover, but I think Alabama's going to end up winning this game. I think Jalen Milroe is going to be a little bit too much. But now for the spread, like I said, I already said Missouri will cover for a game pick. I'm going to go Alabama 34. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. Alabama 34, Missouri 27. Alabama finds a way to win. This is my last week for believing in Alabama. We saw this team compete and play very, very well against Georgia in the first quarter. And then ever since that, they haven't been the same. I don't know what's happening. Kalen DeBoer, I think, has lost this team. He's lost a big part of the fan base. Same with Jalen Milroe. I think this could be your get-right game. With how Missouri has played this season, they have not looked like a good team. They shouldn't be, if we're being real here, they shouldn't be top 25. They have no business being there. They barely beat Vandy. Well, Vandy beat Alabama. So, but I'm going to take Bama here in a Crimson Tide. I think their offense is just going to be a little bit too much. We haven't really seen too much from the offense since the Vandy game. But if we're being real here, since the Georgia game. So I'll take Alabama 30. What would I say? 34-27, something like that. I do think the over is going to hit.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over, but barely. I'm going to take Alabama to win this game 33-23. So I'm going to take Missouri. And the reason I'm doing that is because every time I pick Alabama, I'm over predicting what they're going to do. So in my mind, I think Alabama is going to win this game by 14 to 17 points. Well, guess what? They always underperform a little bit. So I'm going to bump them down and take Missouri. That's why I'm going with this, because they're just so inconsistent in everything they do. They're not consistent on a play-by-play basis. They're not inconsistent on a quarter-by-quarter basis. They're not consistent. They're not consistent on a game-by-game basis. I have no idea what I'm going to get from Alabama. Literally none. You can tell also. I know Alabama fans get angry at it. I know the Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard thing, the little shooting the free throw or whatever on that running play. I don't think that sort of like would that have happened under Nick Saban? No. Do I think that is the big deal? No, but it is a big deal because most likely if you're letting stuff like that go, you're letting other things go. And I think that's what we've seen with Alabama is the little details that Nick Saban was obsessed with are no longer being obsessed with. And that's why you've seen them struggle versus Vanderbilt. You've seen them struggle versus South Carolina. You've seen them struggle versus Tennessee. When Tennessee, for the longest time in that game, could not do anything offensively, Alabama could not capitalize and score and put the game away. That red zone interception by Jalen Milroe, driving down the field multiple times and not being able to get points. Like, they're just so hard for me to trust right now. And it sucks because they have a lot of talent. And we saw what happens when they put all that talent together in the first half versus Georgia. But they have yet to do that. That was the peak of this Alabama team, and they have not been there since. It's been nothing but downhill since then. So I'm going to take them to win the football game because it's at home. And I think, like you said, I think Missouri's overrated as hell. So I'm going to take Missouri to cover, but I'm going to take Alabama to win 33-23. I'm taking the over as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a good pick. Me and you don't really. I mean, I've been 5 straight losses against the spread with Alabama. I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama came out here on fire and won this game 42-14. And it also wouldn't surprise me if they lost. I just don't know what to say with Alabama. I do expect them to get the rush game going, something they couldn't do against Tennessee, and give Tennessee's front seven a lot of credit there. That defense is ridiculous. Tennessee has a top 5 defense in college football. Jam Miller and Justice Hayes, they're going to have to, as well as Jalen Miller, they're going to have to get the rushing game going, and I think they will. That's what I'm going to give Kalen DeBoer the pass here and give him the win, but I don't think it's going to be necessarily that, signature huge Nick Saban. What would Nick Saban do? Well, he wouldn't have a loss right now for sure, but he would at worst have one loss, but he would win this game, I don't know, 38-17, 41-13. He would blow out Missouri because they're an overrated team. But with Kalen DeBoer, I don't know. And I don't think he should get a pass for year one, in my opinion. But no, especially Alabama fans, they agree.
Yeah, they have too much talent. I think, to me, if he goes 9-3, I think that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that in his first year. But yeah, anything worse than that, he shouldn't be getting a pass. I've listened to some Alabama stuff, post game and everything, and they're just so damn spoiled. Like, if they went losing one game to them was like the end of the world, but losing 2 is like you committed a crime against humanity. But like 9-3 to me in your first year, I don't care where it's at, is still a good year. So yeah, it is what it is. People are getting way too angry about that, in my opinion.
Yeah, but the difference though is the Vanderbilt game. That is an embarrassing loss. So it's hard for me to not see Alabama in the playoffs, but with this schedule, they're going to be playing now 3 straight ranked teams and how they've looked. Yeah, I don't think Alabama's going to be making the playoffs.
No, I don't think so either, because I think you have to go 10-2. Everyone thought like possibly maybe a 9-3 team, but there's going to be so many 10-2 teams at the end of the year. Alabama's just not going to be able to make it 9-3. 10-2, they'd make it. They're not making it at 9-3, so they have to win out.